y'all, I'm Tembi and this is Sweet Serenity Kitchen, where you can find me whipping up all things sweet. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're returning, thanks for coming back. So today I'm making a red velvet cake paired with cream cheese frosting. I feel like red velvet cake is one of those classic flavors that a lot of people love, but a lot of people don't really know what it is. So one of the most common misconceptions I've heard is that red velvet cake is just chocolate cake that has red food coloring, and that is absolutely not true. Most red velvet cakes have about 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, which is literally like less than a third of the cocoa powder that you would find in a traditional chocolate cake. So a chocolate cake it is not. Even though it does have a light cocoa flavor, not really a chocolate cake. The flavor that you get is actually just a combination of vanilla, the cocoa, and then the buttermilk or sour cream that's used. So you get kind of that sweetness mixed with the tanginess, and the tanginess can come through a little bit more because the other two flavors are a little more compressed. And the other thing that everybody knows about red velvet cake is that it has the vinegar and baking soda reaction, and in the past that's what gave it its red color, but the cocoa powders that we use now don't really do that. So that's why we add the red food color into it, so you get that red color that everybody knows and apparently loves about red velvet cakes. So now that I've given you this mini history and science lesson, let's go make a cake. So we're going to start by preheating our oven and preparing our pans. As you can see here, I'm using cake strips, and these just help the cakes bake a little more evenly and give you a flatter cake in the end. Now we're going to prepare the inside of the pans to make sure our cakes don't stick. I'm using a homemade pan release called Cake Goop, and I've been using this for years. It's just equal parts shortening oil and flour, but you can use whatever your preferred method is, anything like parchment paper, butter and flour, or pan release spray. Now it's time to prepare the cake batter, starting with our dry ingredients. First we have our flour, our cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. Then we're just going to whisk these together to combine and break up any lumps, then set it aside for later. Now to the bowl of our mixture, we're going to add our wet ingredients. We have our oil, our sugar, and we're going to mix those to combine. Now we're going to add our eggs, and we're going to let these mix so that they can fully break up. Now we'll add the buttermilk, vanilla extract, vinegar, red gel food coloring. We want to go ahead and mix this very well now so that we don't overmix the batter when we add our dry ingredients. Now add the dry ingredients from earlier and let the batter mix for about 2 minutes. Get your prepared cake pans and divide the batter evenly amongst all three. I usually eyeball it, but you can use a scale if you want to be a little more accurate. Put your cakes in the oven and let them bake for about 35 minutes. Once the cakes are done, take them out and let them cool in the pan for about 5 minutes. Take your cakes out of the pan and let them cool on a wire rack. You want to make sure they're cooled completely before you do any kind of frosting. So let them sit at room temperature for a few hours, or you can throw them in the refrigerator to speed up the process. In the meantime, we can make our cream cheese buttercream. We're going to add our room temperature cream cheese and butter and mix the two of these until they're combined and creamy. Add your vanilla extract and your salt and let these incorporate into the cream cheese mixture. Add your powdered sugar to the cream cheese mixture. When I'm making my buttercream, I'll usually start the mixer on low and cover it with a towel so the powdered sugar doesn't poof up all over the place. When the powdered sugar is mixed in a little bit, I'll remove the towel and turn the mixer on high and let the buttercream mix until it's nice and fluffy. Now I'm going to level my cooled cakes. To do this, I make a small incision all the way around the cake, and then I cut through as I'm turning the turntable. I'm going to put these cake tops aside and save it for the decoration later. To start assembling the cake, we're going to add buttercream and spread it evenly between each layer. Now we're going to crumb coat our cake. This just means we're going to add a thin layer of frosting to seal the cake. This way we won't have unwanted crumbs in our final layer. And onto our final layer. I'm going to start at the top and smooth that out, and then I'm going to start icing the sides. At this point, I just want to make sure I get a good thick layer of buttercream around the sides. I'm not really focused on smoothing it out right now. To smooth the sides and even out the buttercream, I use a bench scraper. To decorate the cake, I'm using the crumbs that I made from the cake tops. You can crumble them up with your hands or use a food processor. I'm just sprinkling them around the top and then patting them onto the side until it looks the way that I want it. And after a little cleanup, our cake is finished. And here's our red velvet cake. It's my mouth. Yes, you have that classic red velvet flavor, plus the combination of the cream cheese. It's just... If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want a written version of the recipe or other recipes, you can go to my website, sweetserenity.com. Until next time, bye.